It is Belal Muhammad coming off the big win over the previously undefeated Sean Brady. I mean, a phenomenal performance from you. A few days later, you've had a chance to soak it in. I'm sure maybe watch it back. How are you? How are you feeling about your performance?
Man, happy, blessed, happy to be back home. Finally, because I was out there for 5, 6 weeks. Feels good to be back by my family, friends. Different time zones out there, so you can't call anybody, talk to anybody. It was hard, but it was definitely worth it. Like leaving there with a win, I was like, I'm not about to take this 16-hour flight home a loser. I did not come down here for 5 weeks and gonna go home a loser. No, that's never gonna happen.
It's a tough challenge, man. I spent 5 weeks over there for Fight Island when they did that 5 week stretch, and you're so right. It's just the wrong time. Where like when you're waking up, your family back here is going to sleep, and vice versa. I felt so disconnected from everybody.
Yeah, like literally, my parents and family they would wake up and watch our Snapchat stories to see what we did the day before. So they'll just wake up around the breakfast table, all huddle around, like, and then there was like one, the first week we were there, like I got like super sick, and I thought I had COVID for a second, but like there was like 2 days where we didn't do nothing but sleep the whole day, and my family was like, "What's going on? We didn't see those Snapchat stories." My mom's like going nuts, like, "How come you guys didn't post nothing yet?" I'm like, "We're good. We're not doing anything. We're just training. We're getting over the jet lag. Relax." Mom's always gonna worry, but yeah, it was definitely weird experience, but it was definitely a blessed experience. When we look back at it, it's like just enjoying that whole journey was amazing.
And I guess it's all been documented in a new episode of Anatomy of a Fighter, right? So we get a chance to see it all. Just released kind of as we're speaking right now.
Bro, that's why I was late to talk to you. I was watching it. And I was like, oh crap, dang, it's still got some time left. I was like, all right, hold up. 2 more minutes, 2 more minutes, one more minute. I was like, all right, now hop on.
I love it. I love it. Well, I look forward to watching it once we disconnect here. But I guess talk to me, kind of about that experience. I mean, I think people were talking about the guidance of Khabib Nurmagomedov, B, being around Islam Makhachev as well, who obviously is operating at a high level. I mean, what would you say you took most out of that experience? Was it something mental or coaching wise, or was it something physical about the training? Like, what was the best part of that for you?
Honestly, it was all of it was, man. It was the whole thing was it was like it's kind of I would compare it to like the Ultimate Fighter house but it's Ultimate Fighter house with just a bunch of monsters, Dagestani guys, and literally they all have amazing skills. There's some guys in there that you don't even know their name, but there's not one easy round in the room. So training wise, it was amazing. But then when we're talking about brotherhood and people talking about teams and stuff like that, like these guys aren't a team, they're a family. And being Muslim and having an all Muslim team where we're going from training to straight to praying, and then we're going from there to eating, and we're all together. And there was a language barrier with some of the guys, but like you could understand body language, you could understand when with the way I look at you, the way I'm laughing with you, or guys that are just trying to do Google Translate, like they actually care about you, and it was cool to see that they gave me that respect, and there was no egos. Every single one of them I learned something from every single one of them guys, and like you said, just seeing the humbleness from a guy like Khabib, like he didn't need to be in that room, he didn't need to give us pointers or yell at us or tell us to work harder, or yo, why aren't you working hard enough, or you're doing this wrong, do these push-ups at the end of every practice. Like he didn't need to do that. Like he was trying to get the greatness out of us, and that's what I saw, and it just made you want to work that much harder for him, because he's giving you his time, he's giving you his knowledge, and he was a guy that I've always looked up to, and a guy that I consider the best fighter to ever do it. So the fact that I'm learning from this guy, it's like if I'm playing basketball and I get to learn from Michael Jordan, and still in his prime. Like I still think Khabib is still definitely in his prime. It's not like he chose to retire. The game didn't retire him, so he's still at his best. So how many NBA players in this world want to learn from Michael Jordan in his prime? So to be able to do that's crazy. And like you said, even training with Islam, who I think is the pound for pound king right now, and I think that he's going to show a lot of people when he beats Volkanovski that he is, because he's another guy that's just so good everywhere and is like a computer, where it's like you have a counter to his counter, and he counters your counter, and I'm like, what the heck? And he's just like a book of knowledge too, because like he taught me so much in that 5 weeks. And my coach, we were just watching that thing right now where he's like, we drowned a lot during this camp, and like we still don't know how to swim yet with these guys, but we're doggy paddling right now. So I need to get some more time with these guys, and hopefully we'll get a couple laps into swimming after a couple more months with them.
I love it, man. Well, it's great to hear that that partnership will continue. Obviously, the performance was phenomenal. Not only did you get a win over a very tough guy, but you got a finish as well. So that makes a statement. And you got a $50,000 bonus. So I'm just curious, is that like all Crocs and gym shorts, or where does that $50,000 go?
Yeah, I'm already looking at it right now. We upgraded to business class on the way home. I was like, all right, I can do business class on the way home. I earned it a little bit. It's a long flight. So, but yeah, I'm like the cheapest guy you ever meet. That money's probably just gonna go to food and desserts. That's all I've been doing right now, is getting chocolate wasted.
That's awesome, man. Well, you were rewarded with a move up in the rankings. You're number 4 in the rankings, but you didn't seem necessarily satisfied with that. I mean, you are on this 8-fight winning streak. Of course, we got the no contest in there. I actually had you, I'll be honest, I had you at number 3 on my ballot, but you settled in at number 4. But it sounds like you think maybe should have been a little higher up there.
I mean, if we're looking at stats and we're looking at what truly needs to happen, it's like Colby should not be underneath Kamaru. I think Colby's getting all this credit because he had 2 close fights with Kamaru, but he got finished in one, and the other fight he lost a unanimous decision. So like I don't get why he's getting all this credit of being he would be the champion if this guy wasn't here or that guy was here. Like everything, there was a stat where his last 6 wins are all against guys that were on 2-fight losing streaks. He hasn't fought anybody that was on a winning streak. I just beat Luque, who was on a 7-fight winning streak, and I beat Brady, who was on a 15-fight winning streak. And this is my 4th ranked win in the top 10. None of these guys are fighting ranked guys. Khamzat, his only ranked win is against Gilbert Burns, and he missed weight by 9 pounds. So, like, why does he deserve to be above me as well? Like, he has 1 ranked win in the division. I have 4 ranked win in the division, and the only other guy who has 4 ranked wins in the division is Usman, and he was a champion, so he's fighting number 1 contenders. So I'm already up there, but like I said, I already knew that I was going to have to climb the ladder piece by piece, and if I have to go through each one of them, these guys, piece by piece, one by one, I'm going to do it because I was expecting it in the first place.
I love it. It's an interesting argument. The things you said about Khamzat, I mean, obviously he's the hot prospect in the division, but I agree that. So I actually had you at 3 and Khamzat at 4. But what you say about Colby, it's an interesting point, right? I still had him at number 2, but I definitely see what you're saying. I guess all the signs, or at least what everybody's talking about, is Khamzat and Colby Covington is the plan up next. But are you convinced that fight's going to happen?
I definitely don't think it's going to happen. I think they could talk about it. Colby could say he's going to do it, but I definitely think he'll be pulling out. I don't think he's, and we really haven't heard anything from him. Like, I don't know, where's people saying, oh, that fight's happening? Like, I haven't heard nothing from Colby since the whole Masvidal thing. And I just don't think he's going to take a tough fight. I don't think he's going to accept this Khamzat fight. Even if they throw the whole bag at him, I don't think he's going to take a tough fight. Like I said, every single guy he's fought and every guy he's been calling out is like Poirier, like 55ers. So he's looking for guys that he could definitely beat. And I think that Khamzat's too much of a risk for him to take. For me, I want that Khamzat fight. I think that one makes the most sense. We have the longest streaks in the division right now. He has all the hype behind him. They're saying that he's going to be fighting for the title next. I think I earned that title shot next. So let's fight for it and see who gets next. Obviously, I think Kamaru deserves it. The way that fight was going, whatever, you're the former champion. So give him that fight. But I want to be 1 fight away. And I think the 1 fight away fight is Khamzat. Nobody else makes sense for me, because if I fight somebody else, it's going to be like Khamzat's still ahead of me. So let me just skip all those extra talks and go straight to Khamzat.
I think that makes sense, to be honest with you. I think that's the fight to make. Where do you think you'd like to have? I mean, if this fight can't come together, do you think you put it on the same card as the trilogy fight with Usman? We're just so you're on the same timeline, and then I guess if there happens to be, knock on wood, any issues, you can kind of switch up the schedule. Would that be the smart place to do it, you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the same way they were saying that Colby and him are going to be in the co-main event for that. I think me and Khamzat being a co-main event under Kamaru and Leon makes the most sense. I'll go to London. I liked it there. I went down there for one of the fights. The crowd energy there was crazy. So whether they're booing me or cheering me, like, I love that energy. So I would want to fight in front of them. So that'd be cool.
That seems to make sense. I love it. But I guess if depending on how all that comes together, I guess maybe you could line up a fight with Conor McGregor as well. What are you doing firing? What are you firing shots at Conor McGregor for out there?
Bro, he's definitely not gonna be fighting. I just see him on all these posts, and it just gets annoying, right? Like you have to be annoyed by it. Like when you see him, and anytime something happens, he wants to make the dumbest post ever, and then you see the dumbest fans ever commenting, "Oh man, you're gonna be the champ again. It's coming. It's soon. Look how much muscle he's put on. Blah blah blah." And it's just like, bro, just shut up. Like he just wants the attention from other guys when they get it, and it just gets annoying to see because it's bro, what are you doing? You're not even in the USADA pool right now. You haven't won. You've had one win since 2018. You're not doing anything. So stay in the movie scene, stay on the liquor scene, but stay out the cage because I doubt you'll be anybody in the cage right now that's a legit contender.
Wow, out here firing shots, man. Everybody can get it.
Honest here. We're just two friends talking, and we're just all trying. We're just trying to be honest. Just put it on the table. Somebody needs to tell him, bro, just stop. Maybe Khabib will put him on Eagle FC, let him get a Diego Sanchez fight or something.
Oh, okay. We'll see what's happening out there. I see what you're doing here. Well, you definitely got a big fight. Whatever's going to happen. I mean, the Khamzat fight makes all the sense in the world. The good thing is, whatever it is, I mean, you're in that discussion now, and I think that's good because I think you've been struggling to be in that discussion. But I think after this win, I don't think anybody can say the talk anymore without remembering the name, so to speak, without putting that name in there,
Exactly. I mean, I hope so. I've been saying that. I'm like, well, I beat Wonder Boy, I beat Luke, I beat like. There's still no respect. There was an excuse after every fight. This guy, oh, it was because of this or because of that. Now I just beat this hot prospect that was underneath me, and I didn't have to take the fight, and I finished him. So there's gonna be some sort of excuse or something coming out of the woodworks. I'm just waiting for it to happen. But we just have to wait and see.
I love it. Well, in the meantime, back to remember the show. Anything else we need to know about?
Yeah. No, we're back. We're back on tonight. Hopefully next week we'll have some guests. I'm waiting for November 18th when Khabib and Islam are going to come down to corner Usman Nurmagomedov on Bellator for the title in Chicago. And I'm going to try to get both those guys on the show. So hopefully we'll have those two guys on the show. It'll be hilarious.
I love it. That'll be a big one. Awesome, man. Well, Belal, I know you're a busy man. I know you want to relax and get a little more chocolate wasted in your free time there. So congrats on the big win and whatever the announcement is forthcoming. We look forward to seeing what you get next.
Thank you again, brother.